Good afternoon and good evening to everyone around the nation and the world. How you doing? I'm Esteban. Thank you for joining us. This is the Esteban Hours weekly review. Sound off. How was your week? And how was your day? Today we are discussing bed bugs. Yes, those blood sucking, nasty. Ooh, yeah,
Mm.
those. I don't know what's worse, if bed bugs or roaches. I can't deal with either one of them. But yes, we're talking about those blood sucking little runts. They've been around for thousands of years. But are they in your house? Before we go into our discussion, let's bring in our guest for the show, Miss Lady D herself. Hey, Lady D.
Good evening, fam. How are you? I feel dirty already.
Right?
I feel dirty already. Just thinking about it. I got the itches. Nasty.
Yeah. Do you have any in
Mm,
your house?
hell no. I'm so about the question. Um, no. Thankfully I don't. And honestly, I really be disgusted to find one in my house. And I think that just goes based on somebody's cleanliness. However, that's not to
I
say
hear
that
that.
somebody can't bring them into your house by accident, because that's the dead honest truth. But
That's true. That's
there's
true.
ways you can go about that. So let's get into
That's
it.
true. Well, the country of France is undergoing right now an infestation of bed bugs. They
Mm.
seem to be everywhere. They seem to be growing by the day, and there has a Department of Health over there a little bit concerned, and so they're trying to do a lot of exterminations wherever they can because they are multiplying. Bed bugs multiply pretty quickly, don't they?
Well, like roaches. I mean, listen, any insect can multiply. And if they have the right breeding conditions, what do you think they're gonna do? So that makes sense,
And
right?
if they have the right human to suck off of, right?
Well, I again, but this goes to me. This will always go back into your cleanliness and your hygiene. You know what I mean? When you really think about it, because for me personally, that's like coming in the street and having your street clothes and getting on my bed. I lose my stuffings.
Right.
I'm very meticulous at that. I don't like people walking in the house with their shoes. I have slippers. I wear slippers. Now you want to go barefoot, that's fine too. But you have to have a place for that, right? So for me, you
Well,
come to my house, take your shoes off, put a pair of slippers, but you are definitely not sitting on my bed. And I'm not big with anybody coming into my room anyway. But if you do, and I trust you enough and I love you enough to allow you to come in, I have a bench and I have a chair. Have a seat right there. It's nasty.
I hear that. I hear that.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, let's play this video clip that shows that explains a little bit more of what our friends in France are going through at the moment. Check it out.
Let's do it.
Oh,
The internet is certainly whooping up anxiety. In this Paris flat, there's been an infestation.
You see, I'm sleeping on the floor, and knowing that maybe there's some little insects, it's difficult to live with that.
The place has been steam cleaned, and now the trained sniffer dog is seeing if any bed bugs have survived.
This is Cimex lectularis, the common bed bug. And it's interesting because if I put my finger at the end here where there's a kind of air passage, they get excited. They want blood.
Here they're lucky. The dog gives an all clear. But across the city, there have been what seems like an epidemic of cases.
Se nourrissent sur l'homme. Donc, tout ça, la population qui augmente, les mouvements de population qui augmentent, c'est toujours en faveur de la punaise de lit.
They may look horrid, but they're actually pretty harmless.
So Dr. Béranger has just kindly placed one of the bed bugs on my hand. It's so small I can't see it or barely see it, and I certainly can't feel it. And yet on the screen there, you can see how it's already gorging itself on my blood, and its fluorescent green color has changed to bright red.
So far, no major effects, a slight itch for me, and one happy bedbug.
Hmm. Yeah. Now, would we be happy?
That's
Woo.
nasty. Again, listen, there are some things that are preventable, right? And don't get me wrong, God created the incense for a reason. They're here and they share the earth with us. However, doesn't mean that they have to live with you. But something that showed up there when I was reading the guy's comments, and it makes sense, right? Traveling. I think traveling plays a very big part in how
Oh
some of
yes.
these critters are passing
Get
along,
around. Yes,
right?
absolutely. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and and, and,
When you get on a bus, when you get
mhm,
on a train,
absolutely, plane,
a plane, yes. In
absolutely,
fact, that's probably one of the biggest ways that they are transported
absolutely,
from house
absolutely,
to house, right?
absolutely.
And like you said, sometimes you can't even feel it. So
That's the
people don't
sad
even
part about
know
it. So, but and I know a little bit about bedbugs, but from what my understanding is, especially on fair skinned people, you start to see red marks on your body. You do see the marks,
the
if I'm not
bites.
mistaken. Someone, who has a little more melanin, maybe a little bit darker, you may not be able to pick it up so fast. But I know for fair skinned people, you can see that. You can see the red marks on their body. And I mean, then you got to start investigating. Obviously, you go to the
And
doctor and you find out, you
and then
know,
once you get bitten, you start itching like crazy, like
uh,
it's a mosquito
it's almost like a
bite.
mosquito bite. It's
And
a
then that causes some sort of a discoloration on your skin as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It
Yeah.
absolutely does. So now the question becomes, how do you prevent this? Personally, I think traveling, there's two things that should be in your bag when you travel. In the times of the fluorescent light. So you pull back.
What's
Nope.
that for?
The fluorescent, excuse me, light um should be used to see critters. So like if you go to the hotel, you turn off all the lights, you pull out your fluorescent light, you plug it in, and you pull the sheet back. And when you
Good
pull the
point.
sheets back, you will see all the little critters and the dirt and everything else. That's number one. The second
Good
thing,
point.
and side topic, but I'm gonna throw it in because it's something I just think should be in people's suitcases, is the camera detector. You should have that in your travel pack too. And the reason why you want that is you want to make sure that you are not being filmed without your authorization because people are trafficking people. So when you travel, no, I'm dead ass. These are two in my book. Now, how you want to travel is up to you, but these are two necessities that should be in your suitcase if you are spending a night in a hotel or any other place outside of your home.
Yes.
Obviously, I wouldn't bring a fluorescent light to my best friend's house. They'd probably be insulted. But you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna do that. But if
Yes.
you're going to
What's
Paris or
that for? What you bringing that in here for?
yeah, you ain't
What
trying to
you
offend
implying?
nobody, right? but
You'll get
but
shown
if I'm
that door as quickly as you went through it. That's as
absolutely,
quick
I mean,
as
I'm
you can going
scratching
out.
now, and I don't even have any, but just the thought of it. But I think those are two important items, unfortunately, that the current traveler should have in their suitcase. That fluorescent light
Now,
and yes.
okay. So France is going through this issue right now, but isn't it true that we have a problem with bed bugs as well?
Absolutely.
It may not be national or maybe it may not be like an epidemic type of
Hmm.
thing,
Hmm.
but we do have our share of bed bug issues here
Absolutely.
where you constantly got to be careful of where you're going. Our public transportation system and the buses and,
Hmm.
like you said, hotels.
Hmm.
I know when I'm staying in a room, I know I check, I pull those sheets over. It may look beautifully organized and everything is intact, but
But to
you
the
go.
naked eye, you can't see it. So that's why the only way you're gonna be able to pick that up is again having that fluorescent light. And it's just to me a necessity. Because you don't want to bring that back home, to your kids, to your family.
Do
And so that's why it's important.
you know how expensive it is to exterminate for bed bugs?
I don't know. My God, I've never had to pay for that.
It's around $500 to $1,000 for
And I'm
two
sure that
two
probably
visits.
goes with square footage, right? So if
Yes,
is
it
that
depends on
the space?
where they're
Absolutely,
exterminating. It's
absolutely.
usually like per room, and then
Wait a
then
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. 500 per room?
it's usually
That's
per room,
crazy.
because they have to the process that they have to go through to exterminate. You have to
Really?
bag up.
Wow.
You have to wash your clothes, or say dry. The dryer heat, excuse me, heat is what kills the bug. They don't like heat.
Oh
Yes.
wow.
And the exterminator makes you pack up everything, move everything. They've got to get in crevices, the cracks, the holes, your
Oh.
bureau, your closet, your bed.
Oh
Yes.
wow. I'm still stuck on the 500 a room. Can you imagine? So if you have a large house, you're paying per room. See, I'd be upset. Oh man. And I have to figure who came to my
Can you
house
imagine
and
what
brought that to my home.
landlords? Can you imagine what landlords have to go through that own multiple dwellings, and
Absolutely.
if that if that gets out, they then have to do that
For
times
every
two,
apartment,
three,
I'm
four.
assuming. Yeah,
Yeah,
right? Every apartment, I would think they would have to at least go in and have the dog sniff just to make sure you're not infested. Oh my goodness. Wow. And
excuse
I
me.
don't think
If
the
they
regular
no
exterminator
wait, if
can't
they're
do it
using
though.
a dog, it costs more.
Wow. And the sad part about it is the regular exterminator, from my understanding, can't do it. Like you have to get someone who specializes in it, correct?
Yeah, yes, but yes, but that doesn't mean the exterminator can't do it. Most likely, they specialize in that as well. Maybe not your exterminator guy, but the company he belongs to. There's someone there that can come in and do it. But you definitely need a separate certification for that. Yes.
I'm sorry. That's just again, and because we're talking about bed bugs, again, I mean, looking at the options of how it can come into your home, it's almost inevitable. It's a possibility that it can. But I just think of just the people that harbor things like this in their home because they're nasty. Listen, cleanliness, soap and water is one of the best things that God created for us. And there really is just no excuse to be that nasty. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me how
I
your
used to
skin
have
doesn't crawl.
I
Oh
used to have
man.
a boss. She was older. So, I guess that's the excuse for her. She was about 89
No.
years old, and she used to have bed bugs crawling all over her.
Oh,
You're
oh,
standing there talking to her,
oh
and
my
you can
goodness.
see the bed bugs all in her hair. And
Oh. No, we're not having a conversation. I can't talk to you.
well, she
Something's
was
gonna
my
jump
boss.
off of you and land on me. No.
She was my boss. I had no choice. I had to have a conversation with her.
Oh, that's just putrid. That's putrid. And you know what? You made a good point. I think as people get up in age, it may be a little harder for them to properly take care of themselves. But if you have children or family members, it's your obligation and responsibility to look out for your senior citizens and your elderly because that's nasty. And
She
and
knew
and
she
maybe they
had
don't
them.
have the means or the strength or the knowledge to be able to take care of it. But
She
but
knew she had them, but I think there were too many.
oh my gosh, I'm scratching now. I can't. I gotta take a bath after this just because. Um, oh wow.
And
Again,
I gotta share that before she died, she left me some gifts, and
get
that was
out.
bed bugs. Yes.
Oh, oh,
She passed away, and about 2 weeks later, I started itching, and I'm like,
oh.
what is that? And one day, um, looked at the bed, and we saw the signs on the
You
bed.
threw the whole bed away though, right? Oh my
Immediately. I
goodness.
wasn't happy at all because it cost several $1,000s just to go buy another mattress, but immediately. And the garbage people don't take that crap like that either.
Well, any
you gotta
bed that you throw
package
away
it up
has to be
and
in that mattress. You have
yeah,
to have the mattress cover, if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken,
They
right?
won't
Yeah.
touch it. They will not touch it.
Now, do you have to identify that it's infested on the plastic, or do they need to know that?
No, not
Yeah, right. They don't
necessarily.
need to know that.
You don't want them to know. They'll leave that crap right there.
Right there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I got rid of it right away. Thank goodness that it was just in my bed, because once I got rid of the mattress and got a new one, I never saw another one after that. And that was like 10, 15 years ago. And never had them again. But you're definitely right when you say you've got to be careful where you go and who you let into your house. You don't want to critique everybody and point fingers, but you do have to be
Well,
careful.
listen, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not one to have a lot of people in my home anyway. I'm not big on it.
And I was gonna say too, not everybody knows. A lot of times it's not done deliberately. Not everybody knows that perhaps they might have picked up something
Of
while
course.
they were in the store
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
train
yeah.
or something, and they
Yeah.
happen to come by your house and they're sitting on your couch, and
Oh,
those bugs love to hide themselves in
crevices and cracks, and they're so
in-
small to the naked
yeah,
eye. You
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 don't
probably
know.
can't see it anyway. So the only way you really know is when it starts to irritate your skin, is what it sounds
Right,
like. Oh
right.
wow. There really is no excuse for it. If in the context of it could be prevented if, again, proper hygiene. Even going back, because you made a good point. You could be in public transportation, but isn't the train supposed to be cleaned? Isn't the bus supposed to be cleaned? So again, if we are properly cleaning our environment, right? That's my
Have you
point.
seen have you seen how they clean?
Well, from your lips to God's ears. But I'm thankful that I don't use public
You wouldn't have
transportation.
them clean your house, because
Oh
when they're
no.
done, your house will be dirty.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Listen, I don't like putting my food in at my job's refrigerator because people are nasty. Okay. No. And it's funny because one of my colleagues came to me the other day and said, "Hey, do you think we can have the cleaning crew clean the fridge?" It looked like something spilled, but it had to be there now for at least a month. That it
Wow.
looks like vomit on the bottom of the refrigerator. And I was like, yeah, sure,
Wow.
write it in Spanish
Well,
and leave it, and Anna will come clean it.
right.
But but for me, what annoys me is the fact that people will spill something or dirty something and don't clean it and don't realize how it can grow and fungus and fester and just affect everybody else. That starts to stink. Your food is in there. I don't play that. I'm very funny. Just like I don't eat after everybody either. What? I go based on how you carry yourself. If you come to work or you're around me, you're looking disheveled, you smell, you're nasty. I just get a bad vibe. No, thank you.
What if you walk into someone's house and it's just filthy? And then
Listen,
they say,
I'm going to be
"You ready
no,
for
no,
dinner?"
no, no. Listen, I'm going to be honest. Years ago, and you can't name no names, but years ago, I had an acquaintance who took me to his friend's house, and the roach was coming out the boot. Like you're sitting on the couch, and the critters are just crawling. And I was like, I gotta go. Like we can't hang here, because back in the day you play spades or you do a dump, it's a Friday night, you guys are hanging out and stuff like that. And we end up all going out and just hanging out in the street. I'd rather hang out in the front of your stoop. I just can't. When I saw the critters coming out the boot, and they looked at me like, if we'll have for you in my house, how dare you? I felt like they was telling me, who are you and why are you here? No, I got to go. I was gross. And then when I got outside, even when I got home, everything, it's almost like getting undressed in your hallway because I didn't know if I had brought a friend home with me.
Yeah.
So even, you could take with so much off in the hallway. I lived in a building at the time, but I made sure when I got into my foyer, everything came off there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I did a little
Right.
shaky just to
Yeah.
see if any friends dropped out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was no. Oh,
Did you tell your friend?
he saw it and he knew. It's like, yo, dude, you don't see that. I know, but don't say nothing. What do you mean don't say nothing? Nah, brother, nah. He knew. But you know, that was his friend, that was his homeboy. And I get it, but I was like, dude, we can't hang here. I'm not hanging here. And you ain't coming. We ain't no. And then unfortunately to me is you can't bring that person to my house. You
Right.
can't. Once I see how you live it, you can't step in my house. Under no circumstances. I can only see you in the summertime because we can be outside. Nope.
Do you tell them that?
What? Summertime? No, you just don't answer your phone. Duh. Hello. I'll pick you up. You know, we just, you stop speaking.
Now I know. Now I know.
You stop speaking between the months of September through May. We no longer have a friendship. And May, hey, buddy. No, but on a serious note, I'm very particular who I allow into my home, and because you don't realize even certain bugs cause illnesses, right? We know that roaches affects asthma.
They're carrying, yeah.
Right, rats. Excuse me, certain rodents and stuff like that affects you health wise, right? So
Right.
I'm very particular about that because again, I'm being an asthmatic, my kids are asthmatic. Like I can't have somebody around me that's going to bring critters. I mean, I live in a house now, so you get your natural ants and stuff like that. You're not going to get around that. But when you're living in a building, it happens, and it's unfortunate because the other part of this too is a lot of people don't know how to clean themselves properly, right? And this goes back to how you were raised. And I'm thankful that our mother made us get up every Saturday morning if we wasn't doing something to clean. I hated her guts then, but as an adult, I appreciate the standard that she set, because again, I can't sleep with filth. That bothers me. And why doesn't it bother you? You know what I mean? If you see some, and I teach my children this now. If you see something, this is your home. Mommy is not your personal maid. You live here. Respect where you live. So if you see something, clean it. Right? Clean it.
Are they listening?
Yeah.
Are they listening?
Well, they do. I don't play that. I'm black. Stop playing. You don't want to hear my mouth. And between my mouth and me start taking items away of importance to you,
right?
I had last weekend I had to do that with my daughter, and I looked at my husband and said, "Her earphones, I need them. Please go get them." And he went upstairs and I heard him say, "Your mother was calling you, right? She wants your headphones. Please give them to me." I know she was tough. Came back down with the headphones, and I took and put it right into my pocket. Because if I'm talking to you and you put your headphones on, that's a form of disrespect to me. So let me help you out right there, sister. Pass those things to me. I start taking things away.
That's a smack. That's a smack.
You know what? It is. And again, I don't have any problem putting my hands on my children, but when necessary. See, I know what hurts you more. Taking the tablet and the cell phone and stuff that hurts you more. Don't get me wrong. When necessary, yes, I will put my paws on you. But I don't think we have to put our paw, we don't have to physically discipline our children for every little thing. Sometimes they got to go through the motions of it, right?
Yeah.
You got to go.
And like you said, this is a new generation. And so in this generation, taking away anything digital or electronic is worth more to them
than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Because remember, with a spanking or a beating or something like that, all right, after those couple of minutes, the pain goes away, right? The pain goes away. Now, listen, some kids learn from a spanking and others don't. So when you have that stubborn child, then, okay, see, the spanking's not going to work. Let me help you out. Let's start removing items. And that's really what gets my children when I start taking things away from them.
We're going off topic.
I know, like we always do. But that just means we have good conversation, baby. That's all that means. We just have good conversation.
There you go. So I am assuming that I can come over to your house because you are bed bug free.
You are more than welcome to come, and don't bring nobody with you. You are more than welcome to come. Don't bring nobody with you. No.
Leave if I have any friends, leave them at
You
home.
leave them at home. Leave them at home. And you know what? Something like bed bugs, and it doesn't. It's funny because there's certain things like lice that only affect certain people, right?
Right.
But there's certain things like bed bugs where it doesn't matter, who you are. That can affect anybody, right?
Right.
So you got to think of it in that context. Things
And it
affect
also
people
matters.
differently.
We're talking about being clean and picking up after yourself, but it is true that even a clean person can get bed bugs.
Absolutely.
It's not
Again,
only about
absolutely.
how clean or how filthy your house is. It's about the transport. If
Yes.
someone brought, or if you brought a bed bug into your own house, that bug is not going to say, I'm not going to suck on your blood because you clean.
Absolutely. No. And
So
and that we
we
went
gotta
off a
keep
little
that
bit
in
of the
mind as
rails
well.
on top of it, but the honest truth of a bed bug, unfortunately, is that it can infest anybody,
Yes.
clean or dirty.
Yes.
My only point is it helps you to be a cleaner person in the sense that,
You're
if
more
I'm
aware.
affected, yeah, more aware. But you listen, if I'm affected by bed bugs, you do the right thing, you get them out your house, right? But if I'm affected by roaches, well, what caused a roach to come? That's usually being unclean, keeping food out, or
Right.
cardboard boxes. They like to lay their eggs in that. See, all these other things is my point in saying that cleanliness plays a part in it. But something unfortunate like bed bugs, again, doesn't make a difference who you are. It can be transported, it can come to your home, but it's less work for you if that's all
And
you
they
have
love
is bed.
that
Like
word.
you said, it just affected your bed, and bada bing, bada boom, right? You wasn't affected by anything else. So that's a quick fix. You fix it, you get rid of the problem, and you're done. But if you
Right.
have other things brewing and festering and growing, then that's a problem. Listen,
It surely is.
I have a cat, and I always, when people come to my house, I always like, "Do you smell anything?" And my girlfriend came with it. She's like, "Why do you always ask that?" I said, "Because I live here, and
And
I
you'll get
exactly,
immune. Your
you get
smell will get
immune
immune
to
to
it."
your house.
So for me, although I know that we frequently change the litter, and then I take the litter box out, I take it to the garage. I pour my pine and my bleach in it, and I hose down the litter box at least once a week. I usually do it on the weekends, but I always ask because I'm very self-conscious about that.
Right.
I posted about that a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying to people in my post, and I said, pets, it is an honor for us to be able to have a pet. And when we have a pet, they are putting their life in our hands for us to love them and take care of them, right? So you have to respect that honor and that privilege and make sure that you take care of their cleanliness.
Right.
Okay. And if
The
somebody
clean.
can smell your pet outside their door, you
That's
nasty.
right.
You
And
nasty.
I'm one
And
of those people that'll be first to ask you. You smell that?
you smell
You
it?
smell that?
And it's funny because years ago, and I'll never forget this, years ago, I had a miniature schnauzer, Stewie. Oh, I love Stewie. Stewie was phenomenal. And my landlord had came to my house one day. He had to fix something. And he comes in and he looks. He's like, "Oh my God, did you have a dog?" I said, "Yeah, I had a dog for a while now. Why?" He's like, "Because I would have never known." I said, "Well, a couple of reasons you don't know. Number one, he doesn't bark. That was a good thing. His personality, he wasn't a barker, which is great. But then the other part to that too was because I kept him clean. So my dog had a habit of stopping at the front door when we came in for me to wipe his paws. I purposely did that because you're walking in the street. Now, sometimes I used to put his booties on, but not all the time. And so to me, your foot pad is touching the street. So before, when we came in the house, you take the leash off, I wipe his butt and I wipe his feet. Because you're not going to be loving up on my bed and not doing that. So it's really how you trade it. But my point to him was, you don't know because you don't smell. And I stay on top of that. I've been in buildings where you can smell it. Like, and you don't even know what apartment because it consumes you so much. You don't even know whose door it's coming from. And it's nasty. And I'm sorry. I think if you can smell an animal outside somebody's door, house, apartment, wherever you live, you're not properly taking care of that animal's hygiene. And so that's, it's unfortunate. So that's just my thoughts on the situation. Well, I feel like I'm sitting here talking to myself. All right. Well, I hope you guys are still with me. Are you still with me? Well, until Esteban come back, guys, this is Lady D. You can follow me on Instagram, Lady D _ the official one. Share your thoughts, share your pictures. Feel free to reach out. I love speaking to my fellow brethren. I think we're having technical difficulties, guys. I'm so sorry. But on another note, how you like these glasses? I recently just purchased them. Oh, I was sitting here talking to my fellow brethren. I was asking them how they like my glasses. Guys, give me a shout out if you like my shades. Instagram, Lady D _ official one. I mean, it was just me and you for those couple of minutes. We got to fire IT. That's a conversation to have offline. IT is going to be fired, guys. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, so those were my thoughts.
Thank you for joining me. Talking about having bed bug talk. What else is there to talk about besides bed bugs?
Oh, I mean, there's so many topics we could talk about, but we're gonna keep it simple and clean for Wednesday night, y'all. With more to come. I mean, there's so much is happening right now. A lot of people suffering now. A lot of people lose their loved ones over there in Israel and Gaza. And I'm not here to take sides, but you got to keep people in your thoughts and prayers and appreciate what you have. Even Ukraine and Russia, people are losing, innocent people are losing their lives in those countries as well. So I'm thankful that I can sit here and talk about bed bugs. You know what I mean?
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can take this moment to send our prayers out there to all of the families and the folks that are being affected by war, period.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. Mankind. But anyway.
That's it.
We are our worst enemy. We are our worst enemy.
And that's probably true. That's probably true. Thank you, Lady D. It's always a pleasure having you on.
Yes.
And until the next time.
Until the next time. Love you, fam. You guys have a great evening.
Love you too.
All right.
So there you have it. Bed bugs in France, bed bugs here in America. No matter where you go, they're going to be there. But you can do your best to avoid them. Always make sure that you check on yourself whenever you're in a public setting. And definitely every once in a while, you can check your mattress, your bed, especially if you're itching or if you notice any kind of red spotting on your skin. Other than that, try not to send them to other people's houses. That's not nice. But I'm just kidding. I know sometimes you don't even know that you have it on, or you might be transporting them. But I definitely wish that our friends, our brothers and sisters in France, that they get over this issue and fumigate and do whatever they have to do to lessen the bed bug phenomenon instead of it getting out of control, I guess. Have a blessed week, everybody. Thank you for joining. Please follow, like, and share the live. You can leave your comments and your thoughts at the Esteban Hour on all social media platforms. Our coverage continues. We have a lot set up for this week. Tune in on Friday for the Esteban Hour podcast, 8 p.m. And on Mondays, the Esteban Hour Weekend Review at 11 a.m. in the morning. Again, have a a blessed week, everybody. If you have a goal that you've achieved or accomplished today, don't forget to say to yourself, this is how we do it.